stop whatever you're doing right now. Offset just pulled the most tone-deaf flex in hip-hop this year. And brew, the timing is nuclear. This man just got caught drowning in debt, bleeding from bullet wounds, and dodging lawsuits. But somehow he got the audacity to pull up on the internet showing off a brand new six-figure German whip like the IRS ain't breathing down his neck. And Kiari really thought this was a flex that was gonna save his image? Bro really woke up and chose violence against his own bank account. Before we get into it, subscribe, don't miss it. Nah. Kiari Cephus, Offset to y'all, just posted his brand new 2026 Mercedes-Maybach GLS 600 with a $200,000 plus price tag, paperwork, and all directly to his Instagram. The post dropped in April 2026, just days after he was shot outside the Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida on April 6, 2026. Bro really thought showing us that window sticker was gonna hit. Instead, it's the most desperate flex of the year. Now let's look at the receipts that show why this backfired hard. Alright, let me walk you all through the quote bank, because the receipts on this situation are wild. I'm not even exaggerating. Every time I think I've seen the ceiling on Offset's financial chaos, this man raises a roof. Starting off, in a TMZ report published April 8, 2026, Motor City Casino Hotel in Detroit formally stated Offset opened a $100,000 credit line in March to continue gambling, and then allegedly failed to pay it back. When I read that, bro, I had to do a double take. 100 bands on a gambling line of credit, and you couldn't cover it? That's a move of somebody who already knows the well is dry and is just praying the casino don't notice. Nah, you can't run up a six-figure tab at a casino and expect people to take you seriously when you pull up on IG flexing a Maybach the next week. Then here comes influencer Celina Powell, posting to her 3 million Instagram followers in early 2026, straight up telling the internet, Offset owes me more than $15,000 and claiming he was threatening her when she tried to get her money back. Bro said, what? You borrowing 15 stacks from Celina Powell of all people? Of all people? That's not a flex. That's a cry for help with a GPS signal on it. And it gets worse. Powell went further in her post, alleging Offset told her his financial struggles were caused by a combination of paying $10 million to get out of his deal. That line right there, that's where he lost the plot. You spent $10 million to escape a record deal, and now you out here showing off a Maybach like we're supposed to clap? Nah, brew, that's a receipt on yourself. Then the IRS entered the chat. According to Us Weekly, via Yahoo Entertainment's October 2025 report, Offset was hit with a new six-figure lien, bringing his unpaid tax bill to over $2.3 million. Broken down, that's $486,426.35 for 2023 federal taxes, $1,575,266.73 for prior year federal taxes, and $266,702.21 from the Georgia Department of Revenue. Yo, when I saw that breakdown, I legit went naff. Uncle Sam, the state of Georgia, and a casino in Detroit, you playing against a full tag team. And if that wasn't enough, the Sun reported through multiple outlets that Offset is currently facing over $1.6 million in federal tax liens alone on top of everything else. When I heard this stacked on top of the casino lawsuit and the Celina Powell situation, I had to rewind and read 3 times. Bro is literally a walking balance sheet of red INK. Oh, and don't forget, per Instagram post dated March 28, 2026, Offset reportedly rejected Cardi B's $10 million divorce settlement offer, saying, I built her brand. I deserve half. Bro, if you had $200,000 sitting around for a Maybach, what you turning down $10 million for? When I read that, I had to close the app and touch grass. That's the dumbest flex I've ever heard. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Okay, so here's where the picture gets crazy when you zoom out. You didn't notice this, though. Look at the timing of everything. That casino lawsuit, filed on March 30th, 2026, according to Bet. The shooting, April 6, 2026, 7 days later at a different casino. The Maybach post, days after that. So in a span of 2 weeks, this man got sued by one casino, got shot outside another casino, and then posted a $200,000 truck. Brew. That's not a timeline. That a downward spiral captured in HD. That tax lien report? dropped the same week the Georgia Department of Revenue filed their March 12th lien, accusing him of failing to pay 2021 state taxes. And guess what he did during all this? He asked Cardi for spousal support. That's when you know Offset doesn't have real advisors. Any smart person in his camp would have said so. Stay OFF the internet with receipts. But Offset isn't operating with smart people. Remember his Migos era money? All of that's gone. Migos officially disbanded in 2022 when Offset went solo due to business conflicts with Quavo and Takeoff. Then Takeoff was tragically killed in November 2022. The Migos money printers shut down that day. Man, Offset's post-Migos solo runs have been running on fumes. His reaction to all this happened while he's still in the middle of finalizing a brutal divorce. Forbes confirmed that court filings from earlier this year reportedly showed Offset demanding spousal support from Cardi. So let me get this straight. He's asking his wife for money, owing the IRS $2 million, owing a casino 100 bands, owing Celina Powell 15 stacks, and buying a Maybach? So Offset did this 3 days after tax lien news made the rounds? That's terrible timing. Brew. Offset really thought nobody would connect these dots? But here's where it gets even more interesting. Now check this out. Nobody's talking about the forensics of this Maybach post. First layer. He showed the paperwork. Not just a car. The window sticker. The price tag. Why? Bro, that's not a flex. That a man trying to prove to the internet the car is real because he knows people think he's broke. That one detail tells you everything. A real rich man doesn't show receipts. A man drowning in debt shows paperwork because he needs validation. That's embarrassing. If Offset had half a brain, he would have noticed this before posting. Second layer. It's a Maybach GLS 600, not the Maybach S-Class sedan. There's reporting that actually lists the SUV at the $200,000 plus figure, while some outlets called an earlier purchase $180,000. Why does that matter? Because the SUV is the one made for family photo OPS. This wasn't bought to flex in. This was bought to be seen. It's a camera car. It's a pose car. That's a move of somebody chasing clout, not chasing comfort. Third layer. Patent forensics. Look at his last album. Offset's surprise project Haunted by Fame failed to crack the Billboard 200, selling under 8,000 units in its first week, a massive drop from his previous solo Father of Four, which did 89,000 first week. Offset himself later admitted he only dropped it to get out of his record deal. So let me decode that. The music money ain't coming back. The streaming bag is closed. And yet, the spending hasn't stopped. That's not a career. That's an avalanche with a man smiling at the bottom. Fourth layer, legal fine points. That Motor City Casino lawsuit isn't just about $100,000. It's about how casinos report unpaid markers. Unpaid casino markers in Michigan can be treated as bad checks. That's a potential criminal angle, not just civil. And Offset really didn't catch that? That's embarrassing. You pull up to the Seminole Hard Rocks Valet in Florida after getting sued by another casino in Detroit? Bro, you're walking into the lion's den with a pork chop necklace. That's a problem with Offset. He doesn't read between the lines. Now let's see how the media covered this. Here's where the media coverage gets interesting. Every outlet framed this differently. TMZ framed it as a standard rapper in debt story, focusing narrowly on the casino market and Offset working to resolve the dispute quietly. Their angle? Soft, clean, almost protective, like they were giving him an off-ramp. But Complex went harder. Complex framed the Motor City situation as symptomatic of a deeper gambling pattern, explicitly connecting the $100,000 credit line to his night of gambling losses. That framing says something different. It says this man has a problem, not just a bill. Hot New Hip Hop went even further, framing his musical fallout as a steep drop-off that's directly tied to his financial mess. And Hot 97 broke the tax situation down like a forensic accountant, emphasizing records indicate a lien for approximately $1.57 million from 2022 and another for about $486,000 from 2023. Now, some Offset fans are saying this Maybach flex is cap. They're claiming it's a lease, it's a rental, it's a favor. But those are the same people who thought he'd sell 1 million units on his last solo project. Our Offset as supporters are reaching trying to defend this, whether it's owned, leased, or borrowed. Remember that tax lien breakdown we went through. The money for the down payment alone could have chipped at his Georgia state debt. That post dropped 48 hours after the shooting news cycle. The receipts don't lie. But here's what nobody is saying. Here's what mainstream media won't tell you about Offset right now. This ain't a money problem. This is a psychological warfare problem. But the war is with himself. Everybody's playing it safe, framing this as troubled rapper has bad spending habits. Nah, that's soft. That's cowardly coverage. What's really going on is something way darker, and I'ma say it because nobody else has the guts to. Offset is using this Maybach and every expensive post before it as emotional armor against the public humiliation of losing Cardi B. Think about it. This man asked for spousal support from his own wife. You understand how publicly castrating that is in hip-hop culture, the same culture that built him up as a certified shooter, a Migos boss, a man's man. He publicly went into court and said she needs to pay ME. That's a position no rapper recovers from image-wise. So what does he do? He buys a Maybach and shows the paperwork. It's not a flex. It's a funeral for his masculinity, and the Maybach is a casket. Offset is playing checkers while life is playing chess with him. Every move he makes is predictable. He's already lost narrative. And here's a real forbidden take. Offset is a casualty of the post-Takeoff Migos power vacuum, and nobody wants to admit it. Takeoff's death in November 2022 didn't just end Migos. It ended the gravitational force that kept Offset disciplined. Quavo was a businessman, Takeoff was a technician, and Offset was a star. But stars need a team. Without that team, he's just a guy with tattoos, a shrinking streaming account, and a taste he can no longer afford. His music career died the day Takeoff died, and has been buying cars to drown out the silence ever since. That casino debt we broke down? It's not gambling addiction. It's a man trying to feel something because the stage can't do it anymore. That Celina Powell $15,000? It's not a loan. It's the ghost of a lifestyle he can't fund with his actual income. Those IRS lands, that's what happens when a rapper stops being a CEO and becomes a consumer. Offset is repeating the same mistakes that ended DMX, Scarface financially, and J.A. Rule's tax saga. We've seen this before. Offset is on the losing side of hip-hop history. And let me say this loud for the algorithm. The culture has already moved on. You wouldn't buy his solo albums. 8,000 units first week on Haunted by Fame. That's a SoundCloud artist number, not a former Migos number. Offset represents the OLD god of 2016 trap that this generation is done with. Kids on TikTok don't rock to Offset. They rock to Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, the Atlanta new wave that doesn't need him. This is Offset's desperate attempt to stay relevant in an era that's moved past him. And the Maybach? That's not a vehicle. That's a tombstone on wheels for the relevance he used to have. Every time he posts it, he reminds everybody that he's the man who used to matter. His whole rich rapper persona is manufactured now, and it's falling apart in real time on our timelines. Real talk? The best thing Offset could do right now is disappear for 18 months, pay his taxes, pay the casino, pay Celina Powell, settle a divorce, and come back with music, not vehicles. But he won't, because Offset doesn't have a financial advisor problem. He has an identity problem. Without the flex, he doesn't know who he is anymore. And that's the truth they won't tell you. So what happens next? Here's what's most likely to happen. Within the next 60 days, that Maybach is either getting repossessed, voluntarily surrendered, or quietly sold. Mark my words. When the IRS starts aggressively collecting on that $2.3 million lane, the Maybach is going to be one of the first assets they move on. And when that card disappears from his Instagram without explanation, Offset is going to look desperate, scrambling to replace the image with another lease flex. He's going to try to escalate by posting jewelry, private jets, hotel suites, but nobody's going to care. The silence from the culture is going to hurt him more than any diss track ever could. Watch what happens. Now, if Offset doesn't lose a car, if he somehow keeps juggling the debt, here's what's coming instead. The Celina Powell situation is gonna blow UP. She already has 3 million followers and a track record of going scorched earth on rappers. When she drops the next round of receipts, screenshots, voice notes, whatever she's sitting on, Offset is gonna get destroyed in the court of public opinion. And if Cardi decides to weigh in with her receipts during the divorce, bro is not ready for what's coming. We saw what Cardi did to her last whoops on social media. Offset doesn't stand a chance in an image war with her. He'll be driving that Maybach into a PR inferno. Looking at the bigger picture, this moment is going to be studied. 5 years from now, hip-hop historians are gonna point to this Maybach post as the exact moment Offset credibility as a mogul rapper officially died. This is gonna be the moment everyone remembers as when Offset's relevance died. Young artists are watching this in real time. They are learning that flexing cars while owing the IRS millions is a death sentence for your brand. Offset is watching the culture move on without him, and there's nothing he can do about it. His legacy is about to get quietly rewritten, from third Migos to cautionary tale. Meanwhile, Cardi B's stock rises because she's the one who got out, and Quavo's legacy gets elevated because he at least held the Migos flame without humiliating himself publicly. Offset, he becomes a blueprint for what not to do when the hits stop coming. Whatever happens, one thing's clear, Offset already lost. The Maybach is just a receipt he signed on his own L. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to say. Ring that bell for notifications. And if you want more truth bombs like this, click on one of these videos next. Trust me, you'll want to see what we found.